Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. This is my part 2 right after you have a baby with a narcissist. If you haven't watched part 1, that's okay. You can watch it after part 2. You don't have to watch it in any particular order. Okay, so in part 1, I did talk about a lot of different factors, so you definitely want to go check that out. I'll actually link it to the end of this video. But let's go ahead and jump into this part 2. And this is, for the females that have had the babies, even though you may find some similarities in some of this stuff, not all of it, but I will be making a separate series for the men. Okay? So don't think that I forgot about my male viewers. All right, so in this series, I definitely want to just arm you guys with some more angles and things that could possibly happen between you and that narcissist so that you are not caught off guard, or blindsided by this. And hopefully it can eliminate you feeling devastated minimally. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is the narcissist denying your baby. And this is particularly for the couples or, the ones that weren't married to the narcissist. It's quite possible that narcissist might start denying your baby in order to protect their image. Because, people heard around town that you were having their child and they don't see the narcissist interacting with you, don't see the narcissist doing things, there needs to be a good excuse for him to give other people as to why he's basically a deadbeat father at this point. Okay. So the narcissist might deny your baby to other people behind your back. And he might not even do this to your face. And then there are some cases where the narcissist will deny the baby to your face as well. Okay? Because a lot of times, narcissists, they're very shallow people. And they'll want that baby to be a spitting image of them physically. And if the baby is like a spitting image of you, that could possibly be a remedial excuse in the narcissist's head. Of course, it's not remedial to them. It's just remedial to me and ignorant, of course, to give them, in their mind, the right to deny that baby. All right. I would say to call the Narcissists bluff if they do that. And that's what I do. I would just call their bluff. I have nothing to hide. Let's get the paternity test. Because that happened to me one time. Because the baby came out very light-skinned. And I'm African-American. He said, "Oh, that's not my baby." I was like, well, I have nothing to hide. Let's get the paternity test. And it was quite laughable in my situation because, he had his mother's side and his father's side of the family. And his father's side was very, very dark-skinned people. But his mother's side was Native American and very, very light-skinned people. So he took after his father's side. So, of course, all of his children should too, right? But the babies were coming out lighter and lighter. And that's, the universe right there. But, the next baby came out lighter than the one before, but they were all his. And they were taken after his mother's side. And, my genes play a part as well. But either way, narcissists can do this, and that can be very hurtful, especially as survivors were typically very loyal to that narcissist. So them spreading rumors and maybe in a discard saying that you slept around and, throwing dirt on your name and trying to make you this dishonorable woman, saying you had an affair if you guys were married. These are just ways for the narcissist to try to put distance, between you and that baby and the baby and you and the baby and them, basically. And to try to protect their image, like I said, as to why they may appear to be that deadbeat father that they actually were at the time. All right. So I really wanted to point out that aspect for any of you that are going through that. And again, once we take that narcissist off the throne, the things that they say and think will not be a threat to us because we'll know where they're operating out of. So how much credit can we give this person when we consider the source? All right, if we're dealing with an ignorant, uninvolved person walking on our dark, shadowy side, this is the type of things that we can expect from them. All right. So the second thing that I wanted to mention is about the situations where perhaps the narcissist, is supporting you financially. Women get vulnerable at the end of their pregnancy, and yes, even if we worked outside the home beforehand, we would need to take that maternity leave to heal from giving childbirth, and even more so if it was a C-section. So once you're in that situation where the narcissist is paying all the bills 100%, they might try to flex on you at that point. And what do I mean by that? Oh, I don't have to change diapers. I'm doing enough. So now it will be 100%, your duties to do 100% of that baby. And we know that's 24 hours a day with a newborn baby. And, he gets to clock out of work and come home and relax while, being a mom is 24 hours a day, and he's not intercepting to let you get your rest. So basically not lifting a finger, not only with the baby, but the house chores. So, those type of narcissistic men can be very macho and have, these 1960s views of women being in the kitchen and barefoot and pregnant. And well, if I'm paying all the bills, then it's your job to do everything else. And anyone that has been a stay-at-home mom could see how much more work it actually is to be the person at home than the person to go to work. And for those of you who have done both, I know that you can sit back and compare the energy, and you know that it's a lot easier to just work outside of the home and pay the bills as opposed to being home and running a household, and particularly the more children that's involved and the bigger the home and all of these things. And then if the child is special needs, all right. And you'll find in those situations where they're working outside the home and you're home on maternity leave, you'll feel like they're treating you like a child too. They're going to treat you like a child as well. And, this is just something that narcissists do, period, as far as trying to make people feel beneath them unless they are sucking up to that person who has a higher status than them in a love bomb phase to get something from them. So I really wanted to point out that aspect as far as working outside of the home. But then let's talk about, if your child has special needs. A lot of people, their children may have autism or any type of things that could have, be discovered. And usually autism is something that may be diagnosed later and not necessarily in a newborn phase. But, any type of physical handicaps or asthma, sight, hearings, anything like that, you can look for the narcissist to blame that on you and your genes, of course, and it may be a reason to make your child less than stellar, because now this, because the narcissist wants everything perfect around them, and they're not even perfect, and nothing around them is perfect, but they want that. So you'll see an extra type of detachment on top of the detachment that's already there, if your child has special needs, because guess what? A special need child requires what? Extra attention, extra care. And they're not even willing to do the basic care. You have more doctor's appointments. You may have prescriptions and specialists to see, therapies, and then just extra supervision that child may require. And that's a lot on the back of a person who won't even do the basic things that a child that don't require the extra attention. So, don't feel like you're crazy. Yes, the narcissist is running away from the responsibility and accountability. Okay. So I really wanted to mention that in this video as well. Look forward to, doing all of this work yourself. And then, of course, to maintain images, the narcissist will always talk to everyone outside of the household as if they are involved and they know and they're, they have sympathy and empathy and they're doing their part, when in actuality, they're not. Okay? And this is a little sidebar that's hurtful. They may accuse you of doing drugs or alcohol. They might, try to figure out anything to make it your fault that, your child is diagnosed with this or that. So you could have, took all your prenatal vitamins, ate healthy, and did this and that. And the narcissist will find a way, because, they're always trying to point the finger externally. And then you go dig beneath the surface and see that he has a whole family line of mental illness and dysfunctions, and, whatever this particular ailment is, his sister's kids has it. And you might find that there is a pattern actually over there on his side. But, narcissists live in denial. All right, so I just wanted to point that out as well. The third thing that I wanted to point out in this video was the blank stares that narcissist will impose on the baby if, they are around the baby and spending time with that baby. Now, newborns connect to, their caretakers through expressions, because, the babies cannot talk, but the babies can express themselves, and they're looking at their environment. They're taking in, facial expressions and things like that. So, when this narcissist has this blank stare, it actually invalidates the baby that's trying to communicate with the caregiver. If the baby is trying to play, if the baby is cooing and wanting some affection, and then they look at this blank stare of this person that's not giving them a yes or a no, it's like a lack of acknowledgement, and a lack of validation for that baby. And that's emotional abuse to an infant. And a lot of people don't realize this. So, that blank stare could, over time, encourage the baby not to be as expressive, and actually could teach the baby to have that blank stare as well. All right. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. Now, the fourth and last thing that I wanted to mention in this video is about the mule new supply. Now, I recently made a video about the mule in the narcissist's life, and that's a lot of time is the primary source, or that person that, is still caught up in the love bomb period with the narcissist, doesn't think they could do any wrong, and wants to fight to the death and protect this narcissist from any type of negativity. So they're willing to be that narcissist therapist, lawyer, maid, chef, hooker, they're just taking care of the narcissist all the way around. They're being the mule for the narcissist, and the narcissist is riding in the carriage. Now, you might find in a lot of cases, especially when you were dating that narcissist, the relationship may be over like way before the baby is even born. So by this time that the baby is born, the narcissist is with a new supplier, or has a new girlfriend, if you will. And depending on this woman and how convinced she is, of this narcissist being, buying the mask that the narcissist is wearing, and that this narcissist is this great father. And then if he has other children, well, he's good to those children. He's a great father. He's presenting that and making those other children the golden child, while disrespecting you and doing things behind the scenes that she has no clue of what's going on. But she's faithful and she stands by his side. A narcissist and a woman like this could put all types of ideas in his mind, and he could actually use her to try to come against you, to have custody of your child, to try to discredit you as a mother, and all types of things like that. So I want you to just be mindful of that. Depending on the kind of supply that he has in his life, he could, you know, try to do other types of hurtful things to you and dishonest things and underhanded things, you know, once, and especially if you're taking him for child support and that's dipping into the money she was getting. Oh, well, we need to get custody of that child and to keep money in their pockets. You know, it's always for something negative and not for the child. And then, you know, that new supply could be his mother, his grandmother, his sister, all of them. So really be careful about interacting with the narcissist family. And just because they're smiling in your face, it doesn't mean that, you know, they are for you. Remember, they're always going to be loyal to that narcissist, okay? So you have to just generally be mindful of the energy that you're surrounding you and your child to at this time, who you're letting touch and spend time with them. And they might come because, you know, a wolf comes in sheep clothing. They might come with a lot of extravagant gifts. You know, they might try to, you know, have this entry into your life that way and think that will get you to drop your guard down, to get information to pass back to the narcissist, to do anything, okay? Like, you cannot put anything past the narcissist and his family. You really can't. They could be setting you up this whole time. You know, there's dark magic. There's people out there trying to put curses and hexes on other people, okay? This is why I made that video, spiritually cleansing after narcissistic abuse, guys. It's so important to be mindful of these things. You should be saging your home, letting that negative energy out, cracking a window, opening the door, letting that negative energy out. Okay, there's a lot of things that you could be doing, meditating and staying prayed up, because if you are the one that's spiritually stronger than them, because someone could be spiritually stronger than you and be on the dark side, okay? That's why you want to stay in tune with your spirituality, so that when they do try to send that crap over to you, that dark energy, you can send it right on back to them, okay? Okay, because trust me, there are entities and people that do not want to see you succeed. And the shinier you are, the more haters you're going to be. And if that new supply can't have children, you know, she's barren or any type of things like that, she will resent your child. Even if she helps the narcissist gets custody of that child to be evil to you, you know, she's not a mother. She's not going to be happy for other mothers. You know, there's evil, miserable people out there. You have to just be so careful and keep your eyes open and your ears, and, you know, don't put anything past anyone. I made a trust part 1 and part 2 to increase emotional maturity, and it's under the emotional maturity playlist. I'm going to add it to this at the end of this video too. I got to make a note of it so I won't forget. But, you know, guys, just be careful out here. Be careful. You've been through enough. You've gotten through the pregnancy, and you finally have your beautiful, healthy baby. And, you know, I don't want to see you continuing to get caught up and blindsided and hurt and devastated and stressed out over things. Okay, guys? So we need to stay 20 steps ahead of this narcissist. See them coming from a mile away so you can send them where? Back there. Okay? You don't deserve to go through any more mess and drama. And I do offer coaching, one-on-one coaching, guys, to help you see the angles, to help you stay those 20 steps ahead of the narcissist. You know, you can go to my website, lakiacrawford.com, to schedule that, guys. All right. I do have a new YouTube channel that I want to plug into here for all you mommies out there and family-oriented survivors and subscribers. And it's called Mommy Life, and then there's a space with 6. That's a great vlog for those who are family-oriented and mothers and single moms. I have fun on that channel. I do video requested videos about parenting, and I have some subscribers that have already followed me over there, and they have questions about child rearing, and I'll make videos about that, guys. So if you're interested in coming over into that support, you know, group basically, and that network, and just, you know, being entertained, having some fun, but also, you know, sharing information and talking about family life and motherhood and, you know, support for single moms as well. Definitely go over. That link is below all of my videos, guys, so you can check that out. I have a Patreon that I highly recommend you check out as well. You can become a monthly supporter of my causes, and you will get some perks back for that. And it's a great way to get additional services from me at a discount. All right, so go ahead and check that out. And of course, you can always come over to Facebook, where I have the support group for survivors of narcissistic abuse. That link is below all of my videos as well. So you're welcome to do that. It's never going to hurt anything. You know, you can come over there and people are just going to get it and understand. All right. And as a mom with a new baby, or just for those of you rewatching this and getting lots of validation, no, you're not crazy, but it never hurts to support, expand your support system, period. You know, so look for ways to do that. All right. And make sure, though, that it's a healthy source, because otherwise it's not really expanding your support system. You know, it's increasing the stresses and the drama and the chaos in your life. Okay. And you definitely don't need that. So, guys, until next time, please continue to do the work. Never give up on yourself, and take care. Sidebar, if you want to go down into the comment sections and bring up any issues that you've had, you know, to help other people, or suggestions or advice, feel free here, you know, because of course these part 1 and part 2 video doesn't show every angle, but, you know, just some of the things. All right. So I hope that this is helping someone. And until next time, please take care.